Hey everyone, and welcome back to another eShop Deals video, where each and every week we go through all the games that are currently on sale on the Nintendo Switch eShop, and we pick out which would be the best pickups for this week. As usual, just a quick reminder for all those who might be new to the channel or this series, I don't go over the deals that were mentioned in last week's eShop Deals video, but I'll be linking that up above. You can always check it out after this video. Now don't forget that about halfway through the video, we'll also be announcing this week's winner of the $5 eShop gift card. If you want to find out how you can participate in that giveaway, all you need to do is watch my midweek video of the eShop deals under $5. Now again, this week we have close to 30 deals to go over, so we're gonna get started. Just don't forget that if you do like this content, to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Now we're going to start the list with a couple of my top picks for the LEGO games that are on sale this week. Now these come up regularly, but really one of my top picks is this one, LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, 75% off for $7.49. Now if you're a fan of the Marvel universe, you enjoy the humor from the LEGO games, this should be a definite pickup on your list. I also love these games because they're really laid back co-op games, so if you play with younger players, children, or whatnot, these are great games to pick up. On top of it, the Marvel Superheroes game has an original storyline that we haven't seen in the movies, so I really like suggesting this one. Now the next one that I like to suggest a lot is LEGO Jurassic World, that is also 75% off, this one for $9.99 this week. Now these do follow pretty much the storylines of the different movies, and you're playing through them with that regular LEGO humor, but even though you already know sort of where these games are going, it was tons of fun nonetheless. The humor sections really hit with me, and on top of it, if you're a fan of the Jurassic World, Jurassic Park movies, you will really get into this game. And lastly, for this week, for the LEGO games that I like to suggest, we have LEGO DC Supervillains at 80% off for $11.99. Now, once again, this one is super interesting because it is an original storyline. On top of it, instead of playing the heroes for a huge section of the game, you are playing as the villains. And this one, you can actually customize and personalize your own character. So it has a lot of fresh features for a LEGO game. So if you're looking for a decent one to pick up for this week, this one should be also at the top of your list. Now next, we have the Borderlands Legendary Collection that is back to 60% off for only $19.99. Look, every time this collection is going to be on sale, I'm going to be mentioning it because it's amazing value for 3 really good games if you're into the looter shooter genre. The only thing I warn about these games is if you're picking up the digital versions, make sure you have a lot of space on your micro SD card because these are 20 gigs and above for each of these collections. Now next, we have an excellent entry for fans of JRPGs. We have Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne at 30% off for $34.99. Now, there is also the Digital Deluxe with the extra DLC that is on sale this week for $48.99. So if you're really into the series, I would definitely say spring for that one if you're going to pick anything up. But these are expensive games. Unfortunately, they don't drop a lot lower than this. I would have really liked to see 50% off, but these are such a huge series that I had to mention them nonetheless in this week's list, because honestly, the Shin Megami Tensei series rarely goes on sale, and it often doesn't drop any lower than this. So eventually, if you're gonna want to pick it up, we're gonna have to pull the trigger probably at a higher price. Now the next game is probably one of my top picks overall on the Switch, Streets of Rage 4 at 40% off for $14.99. If you want to know how to remake a retro series, this is like a blueprint of how to do it. You take an original series, you keep the style, but you make it feel fresh and new. And that's what exactly they did with Streets of Rage 4. Now this is a side-scrolling beat-em-up, and honestly, it is one of the best ones we have currently on the Switch. On top of it, they keep supporting it with free DLC and also paid DLC to go along with it, and some fresh just dropped, so it's a perfect time to pick up and try this game out, especially right now at $14.99. Now next on the list, we have Terraria at 50% off for $14.99. Look, few games have managed to take the sort of Minecraft formula and reproduce it in a successful way, but Terraria is one of those games that has actually managed to do it, but with a 2D setting rather than a 3D setting. It is tons of fun, there is tons of content here, and honestly, it really doesn't drop any lower on the Switch than 50% off, and having this in a portable format is really an awesome experience. So if you're into that kind of game, definitely look at picking this one up for $14.99. Now next, we have another collection that will probably always get a mention from me every time it's on sale, the BioShock collection at 60% off for $19.99. In this, you get all 3 BioShock games for an amazing price of only $20. However, this one comes with the same warning as previously. You need a lot of space available on your microSD card. If you're unaware what the BioShock series is, it's a first-person shooter style game, but with an awesome survival / horror twist to it. It is a one-of-a-kind experience. I would definitely say if you haven't played these games yet, definitely look at picking it up. Now next on the list, we have The Outer Worlds at 60% off for $23.99, pretty much matching its lowest price ever. Now this is a single-player sci-fi action RPG, and it is a very, very good one. If you enjoy open-world sci-fi RPGs, I definitely say you should experience The Outer Worlds. Now I know a lot of people said it was glitchy on the Switch at first. It's been patched up quite a bit. I'll be honest with you though, it'll never match what you could get, let's say, on the PS4 graphics-wise, but nonetheless, for having it in a portable format, it is an amazing experience, and I would always pick it up on the Switch 10 times out of 10. Now next on the list, we have a game that I love mentioning when it's on sale, and that is For the King, that is currently 66% off at $8.49. Now I do find that this game is quite a good experience, but at $25, it did feel to me overpriced. It's a roguelike tabletop game, and it is actually very, very enjoyable if you're into either of those styles of gameplay. The only thing, at its full price of $25, I do think there are better options for strategy games on the Switch. However, at $8.49, this becomes an excellent pickup in my book. Now next, we're going to look at a couple of games that I actually pulled from this week's under $5 list because I really think they deserved a second mention in the regular eShop deals video. And the first of those two is Blazing Beaks at 86% off for $1.99. If you like roguelite dungeon crawlers, especially that have a co-op option, you should definitely be checking out Blazing Beaks. I know people that have put hundreds of hours into this game and still enjoy playing it over and over again. I play it on a regular basis. I love this game as a roguelite game. If you haven't experienced it yet, at $2, this is an excellent pickup for this week. Now, while we're on the subject of games pulled from my under $5 list, let's look at one last one, and we will look at Hue at 80% off for only $1.99. Hue is an excellent puzzle platformer with a really original design where you manipulate the background color of the basic stages, and it allows you to progress through the puzzles. It is expertly designed, and it is a game that should definitely be experienced. By the way, there is a colorblind friendly mode, just in case you suffer from that condition. Don't stop yourself, definitely pick this one up nonetheless. At $2, it is definitely worth the investment. So now we have one last 2K collection that is on sale this week that is definitely worth a pickup. XCOM 2 collection at 70% off for $14.99. And I would say, even personally, out of all the collections, this is my favorite one, on top of it being the cheapest. This is a strategy shooter game where basically you are trying to fight off an alien invasion of Earth. It is an excellent, excellent game. Even the storyline is pretty engaging, and I'll tell you that having this in a portable mode on the Nintendo Switch is a one-of-a-kind experience, and it's why I suggest picking it up on this console. Now, just before we move on to our next game, I want to take a couple of seconds to announce this week's winner of the $5 eShop gift card. And this week's winner is going to be Paul DiMuzio, who said, unrelated to this video, but just finished Blossom Tales per your recommendation, and it was so good I almost feel bad not paying full price. And I agree with you, Paul, that is a game that I would easily recommend even at full price, but it's a steal when we get it at more than 50% off. Now, all you need to do, Paul, to claim your $5 eShop gift card is reach out to me in my pinned comment in this video down below. Now next, we're going to look at both Torchlight 2 and Torchlight 3 that are on sale this week. Now this is Torchlight 2 at 40% off for $11.99. Now these are top-down action RPGs, sort of loosely like a Diablo-style game. And In a previous video, I had suggested the third one because that is the one I played, but someone told me that the second one was even better than the third, and you know what? I would probably agree with that person. The graphics are less advanced, but I would say overall the gameplay was very much more pleasing in the second one. So I have the second one on the list for this week. It has a free downloadable demo if you want to try it out for yourself. Now, however, I'm still going to mention that Torchlight 3 is also on sale at 63% off for $14.79. Because although I would say the second one is the better of the two games, I still very much enjoyed the gameplay from Torchlight 3 as well. And if someone's already played through the second one and doesn't know the third one is on sale, well, I want to give them a heads up for this week. But I would definitely say that if you had to choose between the two games, I would pick up the second one first. If you really like the gameplay, then you can jump into the third one. Now, next on the list, we have the house in Fata Morgana at 20% off for $31.99. Now, if you follow the channel, you know that normally I'm not really into visual novels, but this one was getting such positive comments that I decided to pick it up, try it out, and you know what? I was quite impressed. It's still not the main genre of game I enjoy, but if you enjoy visual novels, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of stuff out of this. You get 3 full games, a bunch of short stories, and they are all very gripping storylines. So this is a definite pickup for anyone who's a fan of visual novels for this week. Even at the price of $31.99, the 20% off is definitely worth it. Now, the next game I'm going to mention is Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate Deluxe Edition that has fallen to 30% off for $48.99. Now, if you're into Warrior-style gameplay, this is the 4th entry in the series, and this Deluxe Edition comes with almost all the DLC already included. Now, even though it's a huge price, with the 5th one just announced, that's why we're finally getting a sale on the 4th one. And unfortunately, Koei Tecmo don't give huge sales till we probably are going to get to the 6th one. So 30% off is about where we get in these Warrior games till they're about 2 generations old. But nonetheless, it is an excellent game for someone looking for the Warrior-style gameplay. It just has a decent price tag attached to it. Now, the next game is one I love to talk about when it's on sale, Cthulhu Saves Christmas at 60% off for $3.99. Now, this has a 16-bit JRPG style of gameplay, but with an extremely comedic storyline where Cthulhu has to basically save Santa Claus to gain back his world-destroying powers. It is a ridiculously paced storyline, but it is tons and tons of fun. The main storyline is maybe only 10 hours long, but it has an extreme level of replayability to go through different dialogues, see different jokes. I've played through it myself at least 2 or 3 times, and on top of it, it has a really original combat style. Now, next is a game that I just tried this week and that impressed me a bunch, Darkwood at 30% off for $10.49. Now, if you enjoy horror games, this is a definite game to check out for this week. On top of it, it has a survival twist to it that has you collecting items, basically crafting traps, hideouts, all kinds of stuff. It is a really awesome game to experience, and at only $10.49, it would be definitely worth it even at full price. Now, next we have another game that I just tried this week that really amazed me. Shakedown Hawaii at 60% off for $7.99. Now, this has a old school Grand Theft Auto 3 style of gameplay with you having basically top-down going through missions, being chased by the police and a bunch of stuff like that. But not only that, the gameplay gets really deep with you being able to buy land, create businesses. It is actually an incredible game overall. And at $7.99, this should be a no-brain pickup for this week. Now, the next game on the list is an awesome game, but not necessarily for everyone. Night Trap, the 25th Anniversary Edition at 60% off for $5.99. Now, this game has an extreme level cult following. And just to let you know that this is a specific game, especially for people who have nostalgia for the original Night Trap back in the day, because this is a very good port of it on the Switch. However, if you're not into retro gaming, if you're not into cheap, over-the-top acting that will really just make you laugh, then Night Trap is maybe not your game. And this is basically a throwback to the era where FMV games were an actual thing. It has you setting traps for invaders to the house and things like that. It is an original experience and definitely worth it at $6 for fans of retro gaming. Now next, we have another game that I love to mention when it's on sale, Hob the Definitive Edition at 40% off for $11.99. If you like 3D puzzle action exploration games a la Zelda, I would say that Hob the Definitive Edition at only $12 should be a definite game on your radar for this week. On top of it, this game has a free downloadable demo to try it out for yourself. But I'm pretty sure that if you're into that 3D adventure style, you will not regret your choice to pick up Hob for this week. Now next on the list, we have a regular entry to the series, Valfaris at 55% off for $11.24. Just a quick warning that there is a double pack with Valfaris and Slain that regularly comes on sale, and if you're interested in both games, it is cheaper to wait for that pack to come up. But if you're only interested in Valfaris, this is a very good price for the game. It is a 2D action shooter with a very heavy metal feeling to it. Fair warning, it does get quite difficult, so make sure you're ready for the challenge, but trust me, this is an excellent game. Now next on the list, we have another game that I tried out just this week and that I enjoyed a ton, Wallachia Reign of Dracula at 40% off for $8.99. Now this is another Castlevania-inspired action platformer, but it is a very good one at that. And it is a linear-style action platformer, so don't expect any Metroidvania here. It is a linear-inspired one, but nonetheless, if you like those old-school Castlevanias, you most definitely will like Wallachia. And it does some quite original stuff because your main weapon is a bow, and on top of it, it is tons and tons of fun. So if you're looking for a new 2D action adventure game, definitely put Wallachia on your list for this week. Now, if we mentioned Valfaris, you know Slain is going to get a mention as well at 75% off for $4.99. Same warning, however, if you wanted to pick up both games, just wait a couple of weeks. The double pack undoubtedly will go back on sale. But if you just want to pick up Slain, then $4.99 is a really good price to pick it up at. This is a 2D action platformer. However, instead of shooter-style combat, this is melee-style combat. Once again, very reminiscent of a Castlevania style, although very gory and very heavy metal inspired. Now next, we have an awesome run and gun bullet hell platformer for you, the Bleed Complete bundle at 85% off for $4.19. Now I love to suggest this bundle when it's on sale because to get both these games at only $4 is a definite steal. They are not that long, but they are tons of fun, and at $4 for both of them, it is definitely worth it for this week. However, be aware, quite a challenge towards the end of both games. Now, since Castlevania-inspired games seems to be a theme for this week, we also have Odallus The Dark Call at 70% off for $3.59. Same warning as for Valfaris, however, there is a bundle with this and Oniken that comes out from time to time at $5. If you're looking at picking up both games, it is cheaper that way. However, nonetheless, if you just want Odallus, it is definitely worth it at $3.59. It is a 2D action platformer, like I said, heavily themed after Castlevania, however, with some RPG elements thrown in. It's sort of a halfway point between 2D Castlevanias and Symphony of the Night without it actually becoming a Metroidvania. Now next on the list, we have the Retro Classics Collection #1 from Data East at 60% off for $7.99. Although all the games are good in this collection, I would say the standouts are Bad Dudes, Joe and Mac, and Super Burger Time. Now don't be fooled, this is not the same Joe and Mac as we get for free on the Nintendo Online service. This is the arcade port. So these games, I would say, are better than the ones we have on the online service. I definitely think this collection is worth a pickup when it's on sale at $7.99. Now the next game on our list is going to be Oniken the Unstoppable Edition at 70% off for $2.99. Now this is the other half of that bundle that I mentioned when I mentioned Odallus, and this is a 2D action platformer, very reminiscent of a Ninja Gaiden style of gameplay. And honestly, if you're into retro-inspired games, this is a definite one that you should have in your collection at only $3. However, if you want to wait around for that double pack, it is even better to get them both at once. Now last but definitely not least on the list, we have Tanuki Justice at 40% off for $8.99. Now this is actually one of my favorite retro-inspired platformers currently on the Switch. I played on a regular basis. I wanted to play it on stream this week, but unfortunately it didn't win out on the vote. I love the art style behind this game. Just fair warning, it is a very difficult bullet hell style platformer, and however, it is not very long. There are only 6 stages, but those 6 stages will take you quite a while and quite a bit of memorization to get through. But once you do, it feels amazing to finish this game. There's multiple difficulty levels. Anyway, if I haven't convinced you yet, just check out the gameplay. This game truly is amazing. So that is pretty much it for this week's eShop deals. Let me know what you thought of this week's list. Did you pick up any games? Are there any games I maybe left out that you think I should try out for future weeks? I also want to take a couple of seconds to thank the channel supporters. It really helps out a ton. Memberships are open if you want to check it out down below in the description of the video. If not, you can see all the names of the channel supporters in the credits of this video. And just on the way out, don't forget that if you do want to help support the channel, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when all my future videos come out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.